In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. Friends, today we bring you a story that has stirred emotions, sparked debates, and left many in disbelief. A video that went viral from India has captured the attention of countless viewers, especially due to the surprising and shocking events that unfold in it. The video shows a Hindu man walking into a mosque during the holy month of Ramadan, and the story behind it has left many questioning his motives, while others are left speechless by his actions. Some believe this video might be fake, created solely to smooth over the tensions between Hindus and Muslims, while others argue it shows a deeper truth. The video starts with a scene inside a mosque in Mumbai. During the busy Friday prayers in Ramadan, when people are deep in their worship, a Hindu man enters the mosque unexpectedly. People watching from afar were initially taken aback. At first, they thought this was just another case of someone trying to create chaos. A few bystanders even tried to stop him, fearing he might disrupt the sanctity of the mosque. They thought that his sudden, swift movements signaled an intent to disrespect the sacred space. The imam of the mosque, noticing this, quickly became agitated and confronted the man. "What are you doing here?" the imam shouted. "Who gave you permission to enter the mosque? Leave immediately." The response from the Hindu man was not one anyone had expected. With an air of calm, he replied, "If the owner of this house tells me to leave, I will quietly walk out. But if the owner, Allah, has no problem with my presence here, then none of you have the right to stop me." The people around him were stunned. They had feared that he might have ill intentions. The fear was palpable. Was this a calculated move, a form of desecration? But as he continued speaking, the crowd seemed to be caught in a strange stillness. He was saying things that none of them expected, and his demeanor was perplexing. "This is Allah's house," he continued, "and if he has no objection to my presence, I will stay." His words left the people in the mosque at a crossroads. The crowd stood in silent awe. He wasn't angry. He wasn't demanding to be allowed in, yet his words felt as though they were testing the boundaries of respect for the mosque, its sanctity, and the people inside. Was this a challenge to the Muslim community, or was there something more profound behind it? At first, people thought this was a stunt, a deliberate act meant to rile the Muslim worshippers. They started to record the video, sensing that something important was unfolding. But as the camera zoomed in, the expressions on the faces of those around him began to shift. What they saw was a man who appeared to be genuinely in prayer. With a deep sense of respect, he sat down on a prayer mat and quietly raised his hands, beginning to pray. He bowed his head, tears glistening in his eyes as if speaking directly to Allah. People around him, including the worshippers, began to whisper among themselves. "He is not supposed to be here," one person murmured. "This man doesn't belong in the mosque." But still he prayed. There was an unsettling silence around him, but the atmosphere seemed to thicken with an unspoken understanding. Was this man truly trying to connect with God, or was he merely playing a role? As the man continued to pray, his actions became more intense. He wasn't just sitting quietly. He raised his hands again and again, falling into prostration, tears flowing freely. It was as though he had forgotten where he was. His entire being was absorbed in worship, in pleading for something deeper than the physical world could offer. The mosque, with its walls echoing the praises of Allah, suddenly became the backdrop for an unexpected encounter between two worlds. Could it be that a Hindu, traditionally not allowed into a mosque, was truly finding solace in the presence of Allah? At this point, some began to feel uneasy. Was this man genuinely praying to Allah, or was there something more sinister lurking behind his actions? The tension grew in the mosque and whispers spread. People were perplexed, unsure of what to make of this situation. His sincerity was unclear, and no one could determine whether he was truly in prayer or whether there was some hidden agenda. Then just when the atmosphere couldn't get more charged, the man suddenly fell into prostration once again, weeping as if his heart was being torn apart. He wasn't simply praying for himself. His cries seemed to be for someone else. His voice trembled, and in that moment, it felt as if the entire mosque had been drawn into his anguish. He repeated the words, "Allah, please, show me your mercy." And with every tear, it felt as though the room grew colder. What could have led him to such a moment of despair? And why here of all places? But the man wasn't finished. As the evening prayers neared, he entered the mosque again, this time sobbing uncontrollably. He walked straight to the front of the mosque, collapsing into prostration once more. This time his cries were louder. Filled with grief, and the room was silent. Allah, I thank you, he whispered. How can I ever repay you? You've shown me mercy when no one else would. The people around him were unsure whether to comfort him or stay silent. His cries were raw, heartbreaking. What was happening? At this moment, a couple of people approached him, sensing something extraordinary. What is happening? Who are you? They asked. The man, still weeping, answered, I am a Hindu. My family is Hindu, and my ancestors have always worshipped idols. But today I walked away from the temple, and I came here. I had prayed and prayed in the temple, but nothing happened. My son was dying and the doctors had given up. I was in despair when I thought of this mosque. I came here, kneeled, and asked Allah for help. And Allah answered, My son is alive today. It's a miracle. Allah's mercy has saved my child. He continued, his voice shaking with emotion. I had nowhere else to turn. I had struck my forehead on the temple steps, but no prayers were answered. I came here, humbled myself before Allah, and He heard me. My child lives, and this is a blessing I will never forget. Allah has shown me mercy, and I will never turn away from Him again. His words sent a shiver through those listening. The man, in his simplest words, had experienced a transformation so profound that it left everyone in a state of awe and wonder. The viewers who had been recording the video couldn't stop themselves from feeling the weight of his story. How could a man who had once been an outsider come to find such solace in the house of Allah? For many, this wasn't just a man walking into a mosque. It was a turning point in his life, a realization that Allah's mercy could transcend all boundaries. The people who witnessed this felt as though they were seeing a miracle unfold before their eyes. They had come to understand that sometimes the deepest connections to faith come from places we least expect. It wasn't just about a man entering a mosque. It was about someone finding salvation in a place of prayer and worship where hearts are purified. Friends, as we reflect on this story, we are reminded that Allah's mercy is vast and endless. No matter where we come from or what beliefs we hold, the path to Allah is open to all who sincerely seek it. This video, now viral, shows us how the boundaries of religion and belief can sometimes blur when the mercy of Allah touches a person's heart. We may never fully understand why or how, but we can witness the profound power of faith and the miracles it can bring. May we all find that peace and mercy in our hearts, and may we always be grateful for the blessings Allah bestows upon us.